Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the whole elect of Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. Gotta give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. The Most High, the Heavenly Father, his Hebrew name is Yahweh, not Yahweh, not Jehovah, not God, not Elohim, not Mosai, not Lord, not Yah, not Jah, not Ahaya, not Allah. It's Yahweh, not Abba. It's Yahweh, and his only begotten Son name in Hebrew is Yahweh Shah. Not Yahshua, not Yeshua, not Jesus Christos, not Jesus Christ, not Serapis Christos, not Yeshaya, not Yehoshua. It's Yahweh Shah. So we got to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rekah, Kodash. The bonus to the apostles and the bishops and elders of Great Millstone, who teach well. For the apostles and elders of all of Israel, ready to accept it or not. And the sincere salutation to all the icon pushing this truth and believing this truth with the full ears of the earth, the entire world, waking up the hopeful elect. And shalom to the art wealth of our listening learning. If you sisters who are listening, I'm Isaiah from GMS Atlanta. I'm coming at you another lesson in truth, facts, faith, and application. Another data application, Lord, wouldn't be edifying. So I titled this lesson, The Lord's Judgment as Usual, Death by Cold. This is a title from an article that I put in the chat on the weekend. And it reads, a powerful winter storm claims at least 22 lives across the U.S. as temperatures plunge, winds howl, and power lines fall. And it was a clip that the brother from the camp put in the chat. As a matter of fact, let me show it of what's going on here in around these certain counties around Orlando. So it's a this is the clip. Just gonna play it here real quick. And I'm gonna get back to the article.
10,000 people are without power in County. This is happening along Old Lockwood Road. That's just north of UCF. Over 2,700 customers are affected, but it's sure to be a cold night without the heat. Officials say an underground cable failed and that they're working to get the power on as soon as possible.
So you see, this is happening around the world because of this cold weather. So let me pull this back up. I'm gonna read some of this, just a little bit of this article real quick. So it say, more than 315 homes and businesses nationwide were without power Christmas Eve, thanks to an Arctic blast and winter storm that tore down power lines with destructive winds and heavy snow and dipped temperatures dangerously low conditions, killing at least 22 people. As bone-chilling air continues to grip the U.S. this holiday weekend, and that word is supposed to be holy day, not holiday, or hallowed days, which is the days that the Lord established in the Bible, man. Hallowed days, or a holy day. It say the storm still plummeting parts of the upper Midwest and interior Northeast with heavy snow and blizzard conditions. So, just want to show that. Let me get a few precepts here. And this is the Lord, man. This is the Lord judgment. And real quick, I'm gonna read this in Psalms 89. Because Yahweh Shah said in Matthew 24:20, pray that your flight be not in the winter. Hey, because them 22 that died, man, that was from cold weather, man. Hey, that's a grievous judgment, man. But the scriptures say our people gonna whether they was Jakes or Edomites, most of our people gonna die without knowledge, man. Which I'm gonna read that. This is Psalms 89. In verse 14, it reads, Justice and judgment are the habitation of thy throne. Mercy and truth shall go before thy face. Hey, so, let me get this. Was that, I think it's Psalms 9:13. This is Psalms 9:12. When he maketh inquisition for blood, talking about the Lord, when he maketh inquisition for blood, he remembereth them. He forgetteth not the cry of the humble. Christianity has taught our people lies, man. When there's judgment in the earth, it's the Lord that bringing it, man. It's the Lord, man. When he maketh inquisition for blood, he remembereth them. He forgetteth not the cry of the humble. Because 2/3 of our people is not mourning, man. 2/3 of our people is not mourning in Babylon the Great, man. They living their best life. This is Job 36. I'm gonna start at verse 5. Behold, power is mighty and despiseth not any. He is mighty in strength and wisdom. He preserveth not the life of the wicked, but giveth right to the poor. He will draw not his eyes from the righteous, but with kings are they on thrones. Yea, he doeth establish them forever, and they are exalted. If they be bound in fetters, and be holding in cords of affliction, this is the hopeful elect. This is what happened to the fallen angels. They was bound in fetters, it's saying holding in cords of affliction. You can read that in 2 Peter 2. This what happened to 2 Peter 2 and 4 about the angels. It said, then he showeth them their work and their transgressions that they have exceeded. So we see what happened. We got cast down. The Lord showed us the reason we got cast down. We have been judged. We've been punished for the longest of time, man. But I tell you in Ecclesiastes 17 and 18, Ecclesiasticus 17 and 18, that he nourished the hopeful elect with discipline. Job 36 and 9. Then he showeth them, let's read again. Job 36 and 8. If they be bound in fetters and be holding in cords. The point is, verse 7 reads, he withdraweth not his eyes from the righteous, but with kings are they on the throne. These kings are talking about the Israelite men. But with kings are they on the throne. Yeah, he doeth establish them forever, and they are exalted. This is talking about the elect of Israel, starting with the men, the 144. If they be bound in fetters and be holding in cords of affliction, that's what happened to the elect. That's what happened to the angels that fell. We have been bound in fetters and be holding in cords of affliction. It reads, then he showeth them their work, what we have done to get into these conditions. Then he showeth them their work and their transgressions that they have exceeded. He opened them also their ear to discipline. See, this is what the Lord done to the hopeful elect, man. He bound us in these fetters and these cords of affliction. You'll say he opened also their ear to discipline and command them that they return from iniquity. If they obey and serve him, they shall spend their days in prosperity and their years in pleasure. But if they obey not, they shall perish by the sword, which the Lord used all things for the sword: snow, fire, all the elements that's created for judgment. The Lord uses them as a sword, man. It reads, but if they obey not, they shall perish by the sword, and they shall die without knowledge. And most of our people that get put to death, they die without knowledge, man. A lot of these guys, Takeoff, Michael Jackson, Prince, Charlie Murphy, John Witherspoon, Ricky Harris, they all die without knowledge, man. They all die without knowledge, man. All those rappers, those 300 plus rappers that died in the last 2-3 years, they all died without knowledge, man. So also the rest of these slow belly celebrities, The LeBron James and Michael Jordan, they all gonna die without knowledge, man. Now I say, but the hypocrites in heart heap up wrath. They cry not when he bindeth them. See, 2/3 ain't crying to the Lord, man, for the afflictions, but the whole elect is. That's why he say, set a mark on them that sigh and cry. It say, but the hypocrites in heart, in their mind, heap up wrath. They cry not when he bindeth them. They die in youth, and their life is among the unclean. He delivereth the poor in his affliction, and openeth their ears in oppression. That's heavy, man. The Lord openeth the hopeful ears in oppression, man, to show them that they are being oppressed. And what it say, surely oppression make a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart. Well, 2/3 will take the gift, which is what? A consolation prize for a loser. Go look it up. So when tell you in Luke 6, they have received that consolation. They're getting a consolation prize for being a loser, man, for being a sellout. Even so, would he have removed thee out of the straight into a broad place where there is no straightness, which is ain't gonna be no afflictions, and that which should be set on thy table should be full of fatness. And what the scripture say? King David said, that which had been for their welfare, let it become a trap, man. Okay? The Lord said, King David said, the Lord preparing a table before us in the presence of our enemies, man. In the presence of our enemies, man. But 2/3, they table is full of what? It said in Isaiah 28, it's full of vomit, man. It say, even so, would he have removed thee out of the straight into the broad place where there is no straightness, no afflictions, no trouble, and that which should be set on thy table should be full of fatness. But thou hast fulfilled the judgment of the wicked, the 2/3, judgment and justice. Ooh, take hold on thee. I just read it in Psalms 89 and 14. Justice and judgment is the habitation of the Lord's throne, man. Because there is wrath, beware, lest he take thee away with his stroke. Then a great ransom cannot deliver thee. Because the scripture tell you that no man can save his brother, man, by no matter of money. When he esteemeth thy riches, no, not gold, nor all the forces of strength. Desire not the night when people are cut off in their place. Take heed, regard not iniquity, for this has thou chosen rather than affliction. It's what 2/3 choose, man. Behold, power exalteth by his power, who teacheth like him. There's nobody that teaches like Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shah, man. Behold, God exalted by his power, who teacheth like him, who have enjoyed him his way, or who can say, thou hast wrought iniquity. Remember that thou magnify his work, which men behold. Every man may see it, man may behold it afar off. Behold, God is great, and we know him not. Neither can the number of his years be searched out. Because they tell you in Daniel 7, he's the ancient of days, man. Which the clouds do drop and distill upon man abundantly. Also, can any understand the spreading of the clouds or the noise of his tabernacle? Behold, he spreadeth his light upon it and covereth the bottom of the sea. For by them judgeth he the people. He giveth meat in abundance. With clouds he covered the light, and commandeth it not to shine by the cloud that cometh betwixt. The noise thereof showeth concerning it, the cattle also concerning the vapor. This is Job 37. Let me start at 1. At this also my heart trembled, and is moved out of his place. Hear attentively the noise of his voice, and the sound that goeth out of his mouth. He directeth it under the whole heaven, and his lightning unto the ends of the earth. After it a voice roareth, he thundered with the voice of his excellency, and he will not stay them when his voice is heard. Power thundereth marvelously with his voice. Great things doeth he, which we cannot comprehend. For he saith to the snow, Be thou on the earth, likewise to the small rain, and to the great rain of his strength. He sealeth up the hand of every man, that all men may know his works, man. Hey, some do death by pain. Some get it by just getting afflicted, man. Then the beasts go into dens and remain in their places. Out of the south cometh the whirlwind, and cold out of the north. By the breath of God, frost is given, and the breath of the waters is straightening. Also by watering, he weareth the thick cloud, he scattereth his bright cloud, and it is turned round about by his counsels, that they may do whatsoever he commandeth them upon the face of the world in the earth, man. And the Lord uses the cold, he uses water, he uses rain, all for judgment, man. He causeth it to come, whether for correction or for his land or for mercy, man. He caused it to come rain, water, snow, fire. He caused it to come rather for correction or for his land or for mercy. And the Lord show you in this movie, what's this movie called? Airbender, man. Right? They able to to take the different elements, the fire, the water, right? The air, and bend them, man. That's the Lord, man. Hearken unto this, O Job, stand still and consider the wondrous works of power. Doest thou know when God dispose of them and cause the light of his cloud to shine? Doest thou know the balancings of the clouds, the wondrous works of him which is perfect in knowledge? How thy garments are warm when he quieteth the earth by the sound wind. Hast thou with him spread out the sky, which is strong, and as a molten looking glass? Teach us what we shall say unto him, for we cannot order our speech by reason of darkness. Hey, we see through a glass, hey, darkly, man. Shall it be told him that I speak? If a man speak, surely he shall be swallowed up. And now men see not the bright light which is in the clouds, but the wind passeth and cleanseth them. Foul weather cometh out of the north, with God is terrible majesty. Foul weather cometh out of the north, with God is terrible majesty. It's foul weather. But the Lord bringing it for judgment, man. 22 dead, man, because of the cold. Touching the Almighty, we cannot find him out. He is excellent in power and in judgment, and in plenty of justice, he will not afflict. See, there go the word justice and judgment again, man. Psalms 89 and 14. Justice and judgment is the habitation of Yahweh's throne, man. Through Yahweh, using the angels, man. Again, it reads, Job 37:22. Foul weather cometh out of the north. With power, it is terrible majesty. Touching the Almighty, we cannot find him out. He is excellent in power and in judgment, and in plenty of justice, he will not afflict. Men do therefore fear him. He respecteth not any that are wise of heart, meaning wise of their mind, doing their own thing. This is Job 38 and 16. It reads, Hast thou entered into the springs of the sea, or hast thou walked in the search of the depth? Have the gates of death been opened unto thee? Or hast thou seen the doors of the shadow of death? Hast thou perceived the breath of the earth? Declare it if thou knowest it all. And the same thing the Lord asked Ezra. Can you wait? Can you wait fire or the blast of the wind? Verse 19. Where is the way where light dwelleth? And as for darkness, where is the place thereof? That thou shouldest take it to the bound thereof, and that thou shouldest know the paths to the house thereof. Knowest thou it because thou wast then born, or because the number of thy days is great? Hast thou entered into the treasures of the snow? Or hast thou seen the treasures of the hail, which I have reserved against the time of trouble, against the day of battle and war? But what way is the light parted, which scattereth the east wind upon the earth? Who have divided a watercourse for the overflowing of waters, or a way for a lightning of thunder? And it said, who have divided a watercourse for the overflowing of waters? And you got salt water, right? These different waters in the oceans, man, and they don't cross over, they don't cross paths. It say to cause it to rain on the earth where no man is, on the wilderness wherein there is no man. When you think about certain parts of the rainforest, um, it say to satisfy the desolate and waste ground, and to cause the bud of the tender herb to spring forth. And these waters applies to the Israel, man, the hopeful elect. That's Isaiah 44. It say to satisfy the desolate and waste ground, which was what? The valley of dry bones, Ezekiel 37. And to cause the bud of the tender herb to spring forth. And this is talking about the hopeful elect. Go read Isaiah 44, 1 through 5. Deuteronomy 32, 1 and 2. The Lord said he's gonna call this doctrine to rain down on the tender herb, and they shall spring up. It say, have the rain a father, or who have begotten the drops of dew, out of whose womb came the ice and the hoary frost of heaven, who have gendered it. The waters are hid as with a stone, and the face of the deep is frozen. Can thou bind the sweet? Oh, that's going to something else. So, hey, we understand the Lord, man, through judgment, man. It say judgment and justice in Job 38, Job 36, and Job 37, man. This is about judgment and justice, man. And 2/3 of our people is going to die without knowledge, man. Why? Because the Lord have blinded them, man. They can't return. This is Zephaniah. I just when I put this article up Saturday night, I just said let me make some points on this. It's Zephaniah 3 and 5. The just Yahweh is in the midst thereof. He will not do iniquity. Every morning doeth he bring his judgment to light. He faileth not, but the unjust knoweth no shame. And we talking about the Lord, man. This is Job 8. Everything that he's done, everything that the Lord do is judgment, man. Listen to this. Here's another chapter of justice and judgment. Job 8 and 3. It reads, doeth God pervert judgment, or doeth the Almighty pervert justice? No, man. It say, if thy children have sinned against him, and he have cast them away for their transgressions, you see, which we did. If thou wouldest seek unto power, betimes, meaning early, and make thy supplications to the Almighty, if thou were pure and upright, surely not he would awake for thee, not against thee, he will awake for thee, and make the habitation of thy righteousness prosperous. Though thy beginnings were small, yet thy latter end shall greatly increase. You see, it said, though the beginning was small, yet thy latter end shall greatly increase. And what the Lord said in Deuteronomy 32, he said he will see what our end shall be, man. This is Deuteronomy 32. See, this is about the end goal, man. That's why I tell you in the script, that's why I tell you in Ecclesiastes, man. Better the end of a thing than the beginning thereof, man. Ecclesiastes 7. This is Deuteronomy 32 and 20. And he said, I will hide my face from them. I will see what their end shall be. See? Hey, so it's the hopeful elect, man. I read it again, Job 8 and 7. Though thy beginning was small, Israel, right? Yet thy latter end shall greatly increase. We're looking for the latter, man. This is Ecclesiastes 7 and 1. A good name is better than precious ointment, and the day of death than the day of one's birth. It is better to go into the house of mourning than to go into the house of feasting, for that is the end of all men, and the living, meaning the hopeful elect, will lay it to heart, will lay it to his heart. Sorrow is better than laughter, for by the sadness of the countenance the heart is made better. The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in the house of mirth. And those fools that's living in mirth, they're gonna die a grievous death, man. It is better to hear the rebuke of the wise than for a man to hear the song of fools. So it's a verse 7, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart. Better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof, and the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit. See? So you got the 2/3 living in mirth. Man, the Lord has put them to flight, man. This is James 4. Let's read this one. This is James 4 and 9. It reads, be afflicted and mourn and weep. See, this is about lamentation, mourning, and woes, man. The Lord told us in Ezekiel 2, the trials and tribulations, the adversity and affliction that we was going to go through, is going to be lamentation, mourning, and woes, man. Because this is not our kingdom. Micah 2 and 10, man. This is not our rest. So why is Jake running around here living in mirth, man? They're supposed to be, as it tells you Ecclesiasticus 17 and 18, this was supposed to be for our correction, man. But you got Jake that have trimmed their way to seek love, and tell you in Jeremiah 2. They done trim their way to seek love, right? Because they getting a few perks. Like the brother put up, salvation is near 144. When you read verse 10, it tell you that they have received benefits and have not known the Lord. 2 Ezra 9 and 10, man. They don't receive benefits and have not known the Lord. That's why I say in Jeremiah 2 and 14, is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled? The reason 2/3 of our people is spoiled because they have received benefits and have not known the Lord, man. That's why Jake's spoiled. They don't receive benefits that they think coming from the so-called white man, when really it's coming from the Lord, man. Psalms 8 and 9, Psalms 68 and 19, the Lord say he daily loaded us with benefits, man. It's all from the Lord. Proverbs 26 and 10, it say he rewarded the fool and transgressors, man. In Proverbs 26 and 10, the Lord rewarded the fool and transgressors. Everything that Jake get, whether righteous or wicked, it all come from the Lord, man. It's either going to be for mercy or for your judgment, man. So it say, be afflicted and mourn and weep. Let your laughter be turned to mourning and your joy to heaviness. Humble yourself in the sight of the Lord, and he shall lift you up. This ain't no time for us to be lifting up ourselves, because this is not our kingdom, man. And the more and more judgment, I guarantee you, those 22 that dead, I guarantee you most of those was Jake, man. Some old Jake, some old slow-bellied Jake somewhere, man. Young too. This is 1 Peter 5 and verse, let's see, verse 6. It's 1 Peter 5 and 6, it reads, humble yourself, therefore, under the mighty hand of power, that he may exalt you in due time, casting off all your care upon him, for he careth for you. This ain't no time to be lifting ourselves up, man. This is not our kingdom. We're supposed to be mourning, man. And I ain't talking about that woe is me spirit neither, man. You're supposed to know the reason we here is for correction, man. And we ain't gonna have no joy and peace until you know you get beat up into those chariots, man. The scripture say elect is gonna scarcely be saved, man. What are we rejoicing for? We living amongst heathens, eating the foul food, man, as the Lord said we would. In Ezekiel 4 and 13, we'll eat out the foul bread among the Gentiles, man. We're going to drink poisons, like it say in Mark. We're going to drink poisons and not be hurt, man. Why? Because the Lord is preserving us, man. Lord willing, we build the elect. There is no room to be proud, man. This is Lamentations 3. It's in Lamentations 3 and 31. It reads, "For the Lord will not cast off forever, but though he cause grief, yet will he have compassion according to the multitude of his mercies. For he doeth not afflict willingly, nor grieve the children of men, to crush under his feet all the prisoners of the earth, to turn aside the right of a man before the face of the Most High, to subvert a man in his cause, the Lord approveth not. Who is he that saith, and it cometh to pass, when the Lord commandeth it not?" Hey, so we supposed to be mourning because in due time, man, the Lord is going to lift up whom he loveth, man. It say, verse 38, "Out of the mouth of the Most High proceedeth not evil and good." Well, what is it? It's judgment and justice, man. Verse 39, "Wherefore do a living man complain, a man for the punishment of his sins? Let us search and try our ways and turn again to the Lord." See, the Lord say, wherefore do a living man complain, a man for the punishment of his sins? We sin against the Lord, man. So we don't have no room to complain about nothing, man. Let's get this in Job. This is Job 34 and 29. Hey, when you read Exodus 24, everything, what we say, everything that Yahweh have said, we will do, man. We said we're going to do it. So this contract applies every 31st January. Every time we come back on the earth, this contract applies to you, man. Every time. You still on this contract, man. This is Job 34 and 29. "When he giveth quietness, who then can make trouble? And when he hideth his face, who then can behold him?" Nobody. At least he wants you to, man. That's why I say he will hide his face from us and see what our end shall be. In Deuteronomy 32 and 20. And in Hosea 5 and 15, he said he will go and hide his face until we acknowledge our offense, man. So this is the Lord calling back the predestinated one, the hopeful elect, man. When he giveth quietness, who then can make trouble? And when he hideth his face, who then can behold him? Whether it be done against a nation or against a man only. And we sin against the Lord, man. We sat down in the wilderness, and we all signed that contract, man, in Exodus 24. And that's why the Lord said in Jeremiah 24. Let me get this and I'm going to close. This is Jeremiah 24 and 2. Verse 1. "The Lord showed me, and behold, 2 baskets of figs were set before the temple of the Lord." 2 baskets. After the Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, had carried away captive Jeconiah, the son of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, and the princes of Judah, with them the carpenters and smiths from Jerusalem, and had brought them to Babylon. 1 basket had very good figs, even like the figs that are first ripe. First ripe meaning the predestinated. And the other basket had very naughty figs, which could not be eaten, they were so evil. Then said Yahweh unto me, What seest thou, Jeremiah? And I said, Figs, the good figs, very good, and the evil, very evil, that could not be eaten, they are so evil. And the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Thus saith Yahweh, the power of Israel, like these good figs, so will I acknowledge them that are carried away captive of Judah, whom I have sent out of this place into the land of the Chaldeans for their good. For I will set my eyes upon them for good, and will bring them again to this land. And I will build them and not pull them down, and I will plant them and not pluck them up. And I will give them an heart to know me, that I am the Lord Yahweh. And this is 5 times the Lord is going to give us that new heart. And they shall be my people, and I will be their power. So it's right here in Jeremiah 24 and 7. It's in Ezekiel 36. It's in Jeremiah 31. It's in Hebrews 8. And it's in Deuteronomy 30, man. 5 times the Lord said, "You don't give us a new heart, man." It's saying, "They shall be my people, and I will be their power, for they shall return unto me with their whole heart. And as for the evil figs, which cannot be eaten." I mean, they can't be corrected here, man. They are so evil. Surely thus saith the Lord, so will I give Zedekiah, the king of Judah, and his princes, and the residue of Jerusalem that remain in this land, and them that dwell in the land of Egypt. And I will deliver them to be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth, for their hurt to be a reproach and a proverb, and a taunt and a curse in all places where they have driven them. So the Lord did this to all Israel. The beautiful thing is, He's calling the good figs to return, man. But the evil figs got to get put to death on this side. They'll come back in the kingdom, but they got to die on this side. Jeremiah 29:17. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, behold, I will send upon them the sword, the famine, and the pestilence, and will make them like vile figs that could not be eaten. They are so evil. See, 2/3 gonna die grievous deaths, man. But the hopeful elect, the Lord showing mercy, man. That's that separation between the hopeful elect and 2/3, man. Jake that's running around here living proud. Hey, they got a date, man. They said they would die without knowledge, man. They're gonna die without knowledge, man. So I was thinking about another precept I wanted to get. But Lord willing, this will edifying. Gotta give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh. Bahashem Yahweh Shah. Bahashem Rakah Quadash. The honors to the apostles and their bishops and elders of great millstone who teach well, who are the apostles and elders of all Israel, ready accepted or not. In a sincere salutation to all the arcing, pushing this truth and believing this truth throughout the four winds of the earth, the entire world, waking up the whole elect. Shalom to the outwalks who are listening, learning. If you sisters who are listening, learning, Lord was edifying today. Tell them I say shalom. Wa abba the opportunity in. May Yahweh Shema shall continue to bless you in your houses. Stay prayed up. I'm gonna close with this. Ezekiel 33:11. Verse 10. Therefore, O thou son of man, speak unto the house of Israel. Thus ye speak, saying, if our transgressions and our sins be upon us, and we pine away in them, how shall we then live? Say unto them, as I live, saith Yahweh power, I have no pleasure in the death of the wicked, but that the wicked turn from his way and live. Turn ye from your evil ways, for why will ye die, O house of Israel? Why would you die for naught, man? All we gotta do is, hey, the Lord gave us spiritual fathers and spiritual uncles, man, to watch their edifying videos, man. Okay? You got, as it tell you in Romans 14:5, you got to be fully persuaded in your own mind. But the Lord got to do that. The Lord got to give you that experience, that spirit of acceptance, man. Or you're just gonna die a grievous death. So for us that's in the know right now, and we understand, and we receiving the understanding, this wisdom and knowledge. Hey, Kah Allah wa Allah Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah Ba'Hashem Rakah Quadash, man. Because we could still be bugged out. So why will you die, O house of Israel? The while for tuning in. May you help out your mama shot continue to bless you in your houses. Stay prayed up. Wah abba abba.